What if the chaos crashing around you isn't here to break you, but to spark your transformation into someone stronger? I know how it feels when life piles on stress, when the days blur into a haze of worry, when you're lost, questioning every choice, wondering if the weight will ever lift. It's suffocating, exhausting. I've been there too. That moment when you stare into the void and ask, will it ever get better? You're not alone in that darkness. But here's the promise. Today, I'll reveal 7 Stoic signs that your life's about to shift for the better. Practical wisdom to find peace amid the storm. Tools to turn struggle into a quiet strength. We'll walk through 7 moments where hardship stops being your enemy and becomes your guide, starting with the most powerful one. Here's the twist. The Stoics didn't see your toughest days as punishment. No, they saw them as preparation, a silent forge for your soul. What if every tear, every sleepless night, every stumble is building you for something greater? Stay with me. These signs will show you how to master chaos with Stoicism, how to rise when others fall. Let's begin. You find peace in the storm. Have you ever stood in the wreckage of your life and felt an unshakable calm? Not because the chaos stopped, but because you did. That's the first sign of transformation. A peace so deep, it anchors you when the world spins wild. Think about this. Your bank account's dwindling, your plans crumbling like dry leaves. The phone buzzes again, another hit you didn't see coming. It's loud out there, heavy, a storm that won't quit. And yet, your breath stays slow, your hands don't shake, your mind finds a stillness most can't grasp. This isn't denial, it's not ignoring the cracks. It's Stoic mastery over what's yours, your own soul. Marcus Aurelius knew this. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Picture him, scribbling those words by torchlight, war raging outside his tent, plague clawing at his empire. He didn't wait for calm skies to feel peace. He forged it, right there in the mud. That's what's waking in you now, a quiet power, blooming through the noise. Imagine a sailor lost in a tempest. Waves slam the deck, winds tear at the sails, the ship tilts, groaning under the sea's weight. Most would scream, cling to the rails, beg the storm to stop, but not him. His hands grip the helm, steady, sure. He doesn't curse the waves, he doesn't fight them, he rides them, with a resolve that cuts through the roar. That's you, finding stillness where others see only chaos. I've tasted this too. Years ago, I lost a job that held my whole identity. Rent loomed like a shadow. Friends drifted off, one by one. I'd wake up, chest tight, waiting for the panic to swallow me. It always had before. But that time, something broke open. I sat on my couch, hands resting heavy, and just breathed. The mess didn't vanish, the fear didn't flee, but a calm slipped in, soft as a whisper. "You're still here," it said. That wasn't weakness, that was strength, rising unbidden. Here's what most don't see. This peace doesn't wait for the storm to pass. It's not a gift handed out when the bills are paid or the fight's won. It's proof your breakthrough's already alive. The Stoics didn't chase perfect days, they built peace in the hardest ones. Most think calm comes later, when the slate's clean, when the sun shines again. Not true. This stillness, it's the sign you're shifting now, right in the thick of it. Your life might feel like a house of cards today. A sick kid keeping you up. A car that won't start. A dream you've shelved too long. Chaos everywhere. But there's a moment, isn't there, when the noise fades and you're steady, not fixed, not finished, just present. That's mastering chaos with Stoicism. It's not loud, it's not a victory shout, it's a quiet stand, a refusal to let the storm own you. I remember a night, rain pounding my car roof. I'd just lost a big client. My phone lit up, another bill I couldn't pay. Old me would have spiraled, hands shaking, mind racing. But I rolled down the window, let the cold slap my face, and felt it. Calm. Not because I had a plan, I didn't, but because I stopped asking why me and started asking what now. That shift, that's the sign. A flicker of peace in the dark. Think of your own storms. A fight that left you raw. A failure that echoed for months. Did you feel it then? That moment when the tears stopped and you just sat there. Not broken, not beaten, just whole. I heard of a man once. Fire took his home, savings, ash. He stood in the ruin, smoke curling up. Neighbors wept for him. He didn't. Looked at the wreckage, nodded, and said, "I'm still standing." That's peace. Not the end of pain, the start of something stronger. So what can you do? Next time life erupts, don't run, don't fight. Pause. Take a slow breath, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Ask, what can I control right now? Maybe it's your next step, your next word, your next thought. That's enough. That's mastering chaos with Stoicism in action. It's not about fixing it all. It's about holding your ground. When's the last time you felt this quiet strength amid chaos? A day when the world screamed, but you didn't. Share it below. I'd love to hear your voice, because this peace, this unshakable core, it's not just a feeling, it's a signal. Your better days aren't waiting for clear skies. They're growing, right here, in the storm you've tamed. What if this stillness is just the beginning? Let's move to the next sign. Struggle becomes your teacher. Have you ever stopped to wonder, what if the struggles you face aren't roadblocks, but hidden guides? Life has a way of piling on setbacks, lost opportunities, broken plans, moments where everything feels heavy. I've been there too. That sinking feeling when the world seems to push against you. But what if, just for a moment, we shift our perspective? What if those struggles are shaping you for something greater? This is the heart of Stoicism's wisdom for today. And it begins with understanding that struggle becomes your teacher. As we explore this second sign, let's dive into how adversity isn't just something to endure. It's a force that transforms you, connecting us to the timeless lessons of the Stoics. When setbacks stack up, it's easy to see them as defeat. Lost a job, a relationship ends, a dream slips through your fingers. The weight feels crushing. But that's not how the Stoics saw it. Instead, struggle is the forge where your character is shaped. It's the resistance that builds your strength, the fire that refines your spirit. Think about it. Every time life throws a challenge your way, it's not just testing you, it's teaching you. The Stoics believed that growth doesn't come from ease, it comes through adversity. When plans crumble, It's not the end. It's the beginning of something new. This isn't some distant philosophy. It's a truth that lives in your everyday moments. We all face these trials, the missed chances, the unexpected blows. And in each one, there's a lesson waiting to emerge. Struggle isn't your enemy. It's your ally, molding you for what lies ahead. This is how to grow through adversity, by seeing every hardship as a chance to rise stronger. Seneca, one of the great Stoic voices, captured this perfectly. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Pause on that for a moment. Every hardship you face carries a lesson. Just as lifting a heavy weight builds your muscles, wrestling with life's challenges sharpens your mind. Seneca wasn't talking in abstracts. He was pointing to a reality you've lived. Think of a time you were stretched thin, maybe a deadline loomed, or a loss hit hard. In those moments, you found patience you didn't know you had, or courage, or clarity. That's the strengthening Seneca meant. It's not just old words on a page, it's a guide for today. The next time difficulty strikes, let those words echo. They're a reminder that struggle isn't breaking you, it's building you. It's a chance to transform, to step into a version of yourself that's tougher, wiser, more resilient. Now picture this. A blacksmith stands over a glowing forge. The iron bends and twists under relentless hammering. Sparks fly. The heat presses in. It's intense, almost chaotic. But with every strike, the metal changes. It emerges sharper, stronger, ready for its purpose. That's you in your trials. The setbacks, the failures, the moments of doubt. They're the fire refining you. I've felt that heat myself. Times when I thought I'd buckle, only to discover a quiet strength rising up. You've been there too, haven't you? A moment when life hit hard, maybe a rejection, a plan gone wrong, and you came out the other side wiser. It's not just a pretty image, it's your story reflected back. The Stoics understood this deeply. Every trial is that blacksmith's hammer, shaping you into something enduring. Your struggles aren't random, they're crafting you, piece by piece, for a purpose you might not see yet. And here's something that might stop you in your tracks. The Stoics didn't just endure struggle, they welcomed it as their greatest ally. Yes, you heard that right. Most of us dodge hardship, praying it passes quickly. But the Stoics, they leaned into it. They saw struggle as a gift, a chance to test their virtues, to live their philosophy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle is the way." That's not masochism, it's mastery. It's about flipping the script entirely. Instead of fearing the next challenge, they embraced it. Why? Because if struggle is your teacher, every difficulty becomes a classroom. Every resistance becomes a stepping stone. This surprising shift unlocks a kind of freedom, a way to face life's chaos with open arms. It's a bold take on transformation, one that turns the thing we dread most into the thing that lifts us highest. We've all felt buried under life's weight at some point. I know I have. Those nights when the problems stretch on forever, when hope feels like a faint flicker. You've been there too, overwhelmed, wondering how you'll carry it all. But what if it's not burying you? What if it's lifting you up instead? The Stoics teach us to reframe that burden. Stop asking, "Why me?" Start asking, "What's this for?" That small pivot changes everything. It takes the despair and hands you purpose. I've felt it myself. A time when I thought I'd drown in stress, only to find it taught me focus. You've seen it too, even if just a glimmer. A struggle that seemed like the end, but became a beginning. That weight you're carrying, it might be the very thing raising you higher, sculpting you into someone unbreakable. So, let's talk about it. What's a struggle you've faced that taught you something unexpected? Maybe a lost opportunity pushed you down a better path, or a failure cracked you open to reveal a strength you didn't know was there. Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. This is where we connect, where we grow together. Your experience could spark something for someone else, and theirs might do the same for you. Think about it. What's one lesson life's hardships handed you that you never saw coming? Share it. Let's build a community of resilience, one story at a time. These moments of adversity, they're not just ours to bear, they're ours to learn from, together. Now here's something you can do right now. Take one challenge in your life, something weighing on you today. Grab a pen, open your phone, and write this down. What's this teaching me? Don't rush it. Sit with it. Let the answer unfold. Maybe it's patience, maybe it's trust, maybe it's letting go. This simple step turns struggle into a teacher. It's how you grow through adversity, how you transform ache into insight. I've done it myself, scribbled a question in a tough moment and found clarity staring back. Try it today, right after this video. It's not just reflection, it's action. It's a way to take the mess of life and make it mean something. Do it now and watch the shift begin. The threads running through this are clear: struggle and how to grow through adversity. These aren't just ideas, they're the tools of a Stoic life. Every difficulty is a chance to rise, a doorway to transformation. As you sit with this, think about how it changes your next step, because the lessons don't stop here. Ready to embrace what's next? Here's sign 3. You're hungry to improve yourself. Have you ever felt a quiet fire igniting within you? A restless urge to become more than you are? That's no accident. It's a sign. A deep, powerful signal that your soul is ready to step onto a higher path. Maybe you've noticed it lately, reaching for a Stoic text, letting go of habits that once held you back. I've felt it too, that itch, almost impatient to shed the old self and grow. It's like something stirs beneath the surface, whispering that there's more to you than this moment. Does that sound familiar? This hunger to improve isn't just a fleeting thought. It's the first spark of something greater, a transformation waiting to unfold. Let's dive into what this means and why it matters. At its core, this sudden drive to grow is a mark of transformation. It's not random restlessness. It's your soul signaling readiness for a higher path. Think about it. You're drawn to Stoic texts, maybe Seneca's letters or Marcus Aurelius's meditations, and you feel their words sink in like rain on dry earth. You're ditching old habits, those comfortable traps that kept you small. That's not coincidence. Stoicism teaches us that growth begins with intention. It's about waking up to your own potential and refusing to drift through life. In a world full of noise, endless notifications, mindless scrolling, this hunger cuts through. It's a quiet rebellion, a decision to take control. Every book you open, every distraction you push aside is a step toward a stronger, wiser you. This isn't just self-improvement. It's a reclaiming of your own power. Epictetus, the former slave who became a Stoic master, put it perfectly. First, say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. Those words hit hard. They're a call to clarity, Growth starts with this hunger, but it doesn't stop there. Epictetus isn't just inspiring us, he's giving us a blueprint. Decide who you want to become, a person of courage, of calm, of purpose, then act. It's simple, but not easy. That restless urge you feel is the first step, your mind saying, "I'm ready." Stoicism doesn't promise comfort, it promises strength. And this hunger? It's the spark that lights the way. Every choice you make from here builds on that intention. It's deliberate, it's yours. Picture a farmer at dawn, standing in a field of rocky soil. His hands are rough, worn from years of work. The ground resists him, stones jutting up, roots tangled deep. But he swings the hoe anyway. Each strike breaks the earth open. Each stone he pulls aside makes room for seeds. With every effort, he's preparing the ground for a richer yield. That's you right now. Your mind is that field. The Stoic texts you read, the habits you break, they're the tools in your hands. I've been there too, wrestling with that restless energy, wanting to be better, but not always knowing where to start. It's tough, isn't it? Tilling your own soil takes patience. Maybe you've swapped late-night TV for a page of meditations. Or maybe you've walked away from a grudge that weighed you down. Those small swings of the hoe, they matter. They're shaping something lasting. Your hunger is the proof you're already cultivating a stronger self. Now, here's the twist. This urge isn't random chaos. It's your future self reaching back, pulling you upward. Stop and think about that. The person you're becoming, calmer, wiser, more resilient, isn't waiting passively ahead. They're calling to you now. Stoicism talks about virtue as our highest good, the pull toward what we're capable of being. This hunger isn't just a feeling, it's a connection, a bridge between who you are today and who you're meant to be tomorrow. I've sensed it myself, that quiet pull, like a voice I can't quite hear but feel in my bones. It's not loud or flashy. It's steady, insistent. Your transformation isn't some distant dream. It's already started. This drive is the evidence. Let that sink in. So, what's one change you've chased lately? Maybe you've picked up a book that's been sitting on your shelf too long. Or maybe you've said no to something that used to own your time. I'd love to hear about it. Drop it in the comments below. Let's build something here. A community of people hungry to grow, sharing what's worked and what's hard. What step has this restlessness pushed you to take? Tell me, because every story you share might light a spark for someone else. We're in this together, figuring it out one choice at a time. Let's make it real. Transformation doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It starts now. Pick one small shift today. Skip a distraction. Maybe that extra hour of social media. Read a single page of a Stoic text instead. Feel the momentum build. It's not about overhauling your life overnight. It's about starting. One swing of the hoe, one stone moved. I've done it myself. Swapped a mindless habit for a moment of reflection, and that tiny shift snowballs. Embrace that hunger. Let it guide you forward. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. That's where the strength lies, in the doing. As we sit with this, consider what it unlocks. This drive to improve isn't just a sign, it's a doorway. What if it leads to new paths, new resilience, new clarity? This hunger is more than restlessness. It's potential breaking through. Let's see where it takes us next. What if this hunger unlocks new paths? Let's see sign 4. small wins start appearing. Have you ever wondered what it feels like when the storm finally starts to crack? When the weight of endless struggle begins to lift just a little? Maybe you've been pushing forward, head down, through the mud of life's challenges, waiting for something, anything, to show you it's worth it. Then, out of nowhere, a faint glimmer catches your eye. A stranger's kind smile, a sudden spark of inspiration, a tiny opportunity you almost missed. I've been there too, exhausted, craving a massive breakthrough, only to realize the real shift was hiding in those quiet, fleeting moments. Let's dive into this together, because these small wins, they're not just random, they're Stoic seeds of progress, whispering that you're stronger than you know. After relentless struggle, those faint glimmers start to appear. A kind gesture, a fresh idea, a fleeting chance. They're subtle, easy to overlook, but they're not accidents. In Stoicism, these are the first signs that you're growing through adversity. They're proof that the work you're putting in, the discipline, the grit, is starting to take root. It's not about the world handing you a trophy. It's about what's shifting inside you. The Stoics believed real strength doesn't come from external wins, but from within, from how you face the struggle. These small victories, they're like mile markers on a long road, showing you're moving forward, even when it feels like you're standing still. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic minds, put it perfectly. Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. Think about that for a second. He's telling us the power isn't out there, in applause or accolades. It's already in us, waiting to be tapped. These small wins are reflections of that inner wellspring. When you notice them, you're not just seeing a random good moment. You're seeing evidence of your own resilience, a kind word you gave someone, a tough day you got through without breaking. That's the strength Marcus is talking about, bubbling up, drop by drop, if you're willing to look. Picture this. You're trudging through a desert, the sun scorching your back, your throat so dry it hurts. You're desperate for relief. Then, a single raindrop lands on your hand. It's not a downpour, not even close, but it's something, a hint that the drought might break. That's what these small wins are like, raindrops piercing the parched ground of your struggle. For me, it was a morning when I sat down to write after weeks of feeling stuck. I only got one sentence out. One. It felt insignificant, laughable even. But later, I realized that sentence broke the dam. It led to more. We've all had moments like that, haven't we? A task you finally finish, a breath you take instead of snapping. They're humble sparks, but they build your resilience, one flicker at a time. Now, here's the surprising truth. Most of us miss these moments entirely. We're too busy chasing the grand triumphs, the promotions, the big breaks, the finish lines. We scroll past the quiet victories, thinking they don't count. I've done it too. Dismissed a small step because it wasn't a leap. But the Stoics knew better. They saw value in the process, not just the prize. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." That hits hard. It means we torture ourselves waiting for the big win, when the small ones, the real ones, are right there, stacking up. The Stoics urge us to stop, to look, to see these humble sparks as the foundation of something stronger. I get it. We've all craved those loud, shiny victories. I've spent days dreaming of the moment everything falls into place, ignoring the little wins that got me through. Like the time I chose to listen instead of argue, and it shifted my whole mood. It didn't feel big then, but looking back, it mattered. It carried me forward. Don't those moments matter to you too? The times you kept going when you wanted to quit? The tiny choices that felt small but weren't? They're the threads holding us together. Proof we're tougher than we think. So, what about you? What's a small win you've noticed lately? Maybe it was a kind word you shared when you didn't have to, or a moment you chose patience over frustration. Share it with us. Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear how these sparks are lighting your path. We're all in this together, stumbling, learning, growing. Your story might just lift someone else, the way theirs could lift you. Let's build that connection. Let's talk about it. Here's your chance to take this further. Spot one small success today. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering. Maybe it's taking a deep breath when stress creeps in, or finishing a page of that book you've been ignoring. Then, amplify it. Pause. Reflect. Write it down. Tell yourself, this is my progress. That's how to grow through adversity, by noticing what's already there and nurturing it. The Stoics believed growth comes from discipline, from tending to these quiet moments. So, start small. Start now. Because every raindrop adds to the river, and every small win builds the strength you carry. As we move forward, curious about what if. Here's sign 5. You're questioning everything. Have you ever stopped to wonder, what if the life you're living no longer fits? What if your routines feel like chains? Your relationships seem distant, or your beliefs start to crumble under the weight of doubt? That unease creeping in. It's not a sign of failure. No, it's your mind stretching, reaching, yearning for transformation. We've all been there. That restless feeling that whispers, is this all there is? I know it well. I've wrestled with it myself. Those late nights wondering if I'm even on the right path. And if you're feeling it now, you're not alone. This moment, it's a bridge. A quiet shift from what was to what could be. Let's step onto it together. This questioning, it's not a flaw to fix. It's a signal, a sign that you're growing. What if your routines, once so comforting, now feel like a cage? What if the people you love seem like strangers, or the ideas you've clung to no longer hold weight? That discomfort, it's your mind pushing against its edges, stretching towards something bigger. Transformation doesn't come easy. It's messy, it's raw, but it's real. Think of a snake shedding its skin, that tight, itchy sensation. It's unbearable at times. The old skin clings, resists, holds on. But it's too small now, too rigid. And as the snake wriggles free, it's reborn, stronger. Your doubts are doing the same. They're peeling away what no longer fits, clearing the way for who you're becoming. Stoicism steps in here, not to erase the unease, but to show us how to hold it, how to learn from it. Seneca, one of the sharpest Stoic minds, once said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Pause on that. Let it settle. Doubt isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. It's a quiet voice saying you're awake, that you're brave enough to question what others accept blindly. Seneca didn't see life as a straight line to certainty. He saw it as a classroom, one where every what if is a lesson, every uncertainty a chance to grow. That's the Stoic way. Transformation doesn't start with answers. It starts with curiosity, with that bold, trembling, what if? And here's the thing, they didn't just tolerate doubt, they welcomed it, saw it as a gift, a gateway to wisdom, not a burden, but a guide. Picture this, you're standing at a crossroads. Maybe it's a job you used to love, but now it drains you dry. Every morning feels heavier, or a relationship that once lit you up, but now casts a shadow. That nagging what if keeps tugging. What if I walked away? What if I started over? It's terrifying, isn't it? I've stood there too, heart racing, mind spinning, wondering if the life I'd built was still mine. That lost, uncertain feeling, it's heavy. But here's the truth, that weight, it's proof you're alive. Proof you're growing. Just like the snake, you're shedding what doesn't serve you anymore. It's not easy. The old skin clings tight. But with every question, every quiet what if, you're stepping closer to who you're meant to be. That's transformation in motion. So, what can you do with this? Start small. Pick one thing today. Maybe it's how you spend your mornings, rushing through coffee, scrolling mindlessly, or a conversation you've dodged with a friend, a partner, yourself. Ask yourself, what if? What if I slowed down? What if I spoke up? What if I let go of this fear? Then take one step, just one. Pour that coffee and sit with it. Pick up the phone, journal that thought. It doesn't need to be grand. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to start. Because action, that's where the magic hides. That's where transformation takes root. The Stoics didn't sit around pondering endlessly. They lived their questions. They moved. And so can you. Here's something you might not expect. The Stoics didn't fear doubt. They leaned into it. In a world obsessed with certainty, they chose the opposite. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, sat with his uncertainties every night, scribbled them down, wrestled with them, not to banish them, but to understand them. Epictetus, born a slave, turned his doubts into freedom, used them to build a mind no chains could hold. They saw doubt as strength, a sign of a soul that refuses to settle, that seeks truth over comfort. Isn't that wild? We're taught to run from the unknown, to dread it. But the Stoics, they shook its hand, they called it friend, and in that embrace they found wisdom. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one thing you're doubting right now? A choice that keeps you up at night? A belief you're ready to release? Drop it in the comments. Let's dig into it together. There's power in this space, in sharing those what-if moments. Someone's story might spark your next step, or yours might light their path. This isn't just a video. It's a community, a place to question, to grow, to shed the old and step into the new. So go ahead. What's on your mind? Let's talk. Take that step today. Ask what if about one choice. Feel the stretch. Sit with the uncertainty. It's not here to break you. It's here to build you. Transformation isn't a finish line. It's a beginning. And if you're ready to keep going, there's more waiting. Ready to embrace more? Here's sign 6. Old ties start fading. Here's the detailed script for the sign 6, old ties start fading section of the video for Stoic teachings today. This is crafted to flow naturally with a calm and inspiring tone, optimized for an AI voiceover and aligned with the Stoic philosophy. It integrates all the required elements from the outline seamlessly. Have you ever noticed how some relationships seem to slip away, almost without a sound? It's not always a loud argument or a moment of betrayal that ends things. Sometimes it's quieter. Friends you used to call every week, allies you once trusted, even people you leaned on, they just fade. And you're left wondering, what happened? Where did it go wrong? I've been there too. That slow drift can feel confusing, even painful. It's like watching a thread unravel, and you don't know whether to pull it back or let it go. But here's a thought to sit with. Maybe it's not about something going wrong. Maybe it's about something going right. Maybe it's your growth needing space to unfold. Let's explore this together, because this quiet shift ties into something deeper. People drift away, not because you've failed or because they've turned against you, but because your transformation needs room to breathe. Think about that. As you walk this Stoic path, you're changing. You're letting go of old habits, old desires, old ways of seeing the world. You're focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your character. And as you refine these, some connections just don't fit anymore. It's not dramatic. It's not a storm. It's a gentle tide pulling back from the shore. Stoicism teaches us to accept this. We can't control how others grow or don't. We can't force every bond to stretch and adapt to who we're becoming. And that's okay. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of clarity. When you release what no longer aligns, you're not losing something. You're making space for peace. Let's anchor this with a Stoic voice. Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Pause there. Let that settle in. We often think of wealth as more things, more people, more connections. But Epictetus flips it. True wealth comes from wanting less. And yes, that includes relationships. Sometimes, having fewer bonds, letting go of those that pull you back or drain your spirit, is what enriches your life. It's not about cutting people out coldly. It's about recognizing what serves your growth and what doesn't. As you embrace this Stoic mindset, those old ties might fade, not because you're cruel, but because you're free. Freedom isn't loud, it's quiet, and it's powerful. Picture this. Imagine a tree in your garden. Its branches are heavy with dead leaves, dry, brittle, clinging on past their time. You grab a pair of shears. You hesitate. Cutting feels wrong, doesn't it? It feels like loss. But you start anyway. Snip, snip. The branches fall. The tree looks bare, almost fragile. Yet weeks later, something changes. New buds push through. The tree stands taller, stronger, alive again. That's what letting go of old ties can be like. I've felt this myself. I had a friend, someone I laughed with, shared dreams with, but our paths diverged. I grew quieter, more reflective. They stayed loud, chasing things I'd left behind. The calls stopped. The silence hurt. Like a hollow space where noise used to live. It stung to feel alone. Didn't it hurt you too when someone faded from your life? But here's what I found. That space didn't stay empty. It became a place for new growth. People who matched my values stepped in. You might have a story like that too. Someone slipped away, and in that quiet, you found a chance to bloom. Now here's something practical. Embrace the gap. Don't run from it. Don't fill it with noise or distraction. Let it be. It's not a void, it's a canvas. Start small. Reach out to one person who fits your new path, someone who inspires you, someone who gets this stoic journey you're on. It doesn't have to be grand. A call, a message, a simple, "Hey, I've been thinking about this. What do you think?" Take that step today, not tomorrow, not next week. Now, transformation doesn't wait for the perfect moment. You make it. One choice, one connection. And as you do, you'll feel it. The weight lifting, the peace settling in. That's Stoicism in action. It's not just ideas, it's a way to live. And here's the kicker. Letting go might be your liberation, not your burden. Isn't that surprising? We're taught to hold on, to fight for every friendship, every tie, as if letting go means defeat. But Stoicism says no. What if that fading connection isn't rejection? What if it's a gift, a chance to reclaim your energy, your focus, your time? The philosophers didn't see detachment as heartless. They saw it as wisdom. When you release what no longer serves you, you're not losing, you're choosing yourself. That's a twist, isn't it? Society tells us to cling. Stoicism whispers, let go. And in that release, you find clarity, you find strength. It's not what you expected, but it's what you needed. So, let's talk about you. Who's slipped from your life recently? Take a second. Think about it. Was it a friend who doesn't share your values anymore? A colleague whose goals pull them in a different direction? How did it feel when they faded? Did it leave you hollow? Or did it open something new? What changed in you? I'd love to hear your story. Drop it in the comments below. Let's dig into this together. Maybe someone else has felt that same sting, the silence where connection used to be, and found their way through. This isn't just my journey or your journey. It's ours. This community is here to reflect, to grow, to learn from each other. So, share. Who's drifted away? How did it shape you? Let's talk. This is about transformation, about embracing the shifts that define us. Old ties fading isn't the end of the story. It's the start of something new. With space comes peace, a quiet strength that carries you forward. And that brings us to the next step. Let's wrap with Sign 7, where we'll explore how this clarity, this courage, can guide your next chapter. Chaos feels manageable. Have you ever wondered why chaos seems to follow us everywhere? Yet somehow, you're starting to feel a quiet strength within. Life's storms haven't stopped. The winds still howl. But there's a steadiness in you now, a sign that you're learning to master chaos with Stoicism. And that, my friend, means your better days are close. Let's pause for a moment. Think back to the last time everything felt out of control. Maybe it was a hectic day at work, or a personal challenge that tested your limits. We've all been there. That urge to scream at the mess, to fight against the tide. Yet here you are, calmer than before. This isn't by chance. It's the quiet power of Stoicism at work, building a bridge from where you were to where you're going. Speaking of which, if we've talked about finding resilience before, this is the next step. Mastering chaos doesn't mean avoiding it. It means standing tall within it. Life's still wild, unpredictable, a storm that can sweep you away if you let it. But with Stoicism, you're not just surviving the chaos, you're reshaping how you see it. It's not the external world that shakes you, it's your own mind, your own judgments. When you shift that lens, the wildness becomes manageable. Picture this. You're not fighting the storm anymore. You're learning to dance with it. This is the heart of Stoicism, taking control of what you can, letting go of what you can't. It's a simple idea, yet profound, and it's yours to claim. Think about the last time something went wrong. A missed deadline, a cancelled plan. The old you might have spiraled, but now you pause, you breathe, you decide how to respond. That's the difference Stoicism makes. It's not about silencing the noise outside, it's about finding peace within the racket. Chaos doesn't vanish, but your grip on it tightens, and that's a strength you're building every day. Marcus Aurelius knew this truth well. He wrote, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment." Let that sink in. The chaos out there? It's neutral. It's your thoughts about it that create the struggle. By reshaping that inner lens, you're not just enduring life's mess, you're rising above it. This is the Stoic way, turning turmoil into a teacher. Imagine a spilled coffee on your desk. The mess is real. The frustration? That's your call. Marcus would say, "Don't curse the spill. Wipe it up. Move on." It's not the event that matters, it's your judgment of it. And when you see it that way, chaos loses its sting. You're not its victim anymore. You're its master. That's the shift happening in you right now. Let's paint a picture. You're standing in a windstorm. The trees around you bend and break. The air is thick with debris, but your roots are deep, unshaken. That's you in this moment. Chaos tests you. Maybe it's a deadline crashing down, a family argument flaring up, or an unexpected twist you didn't see coming. Yet you're passing the test, not because the storm stopped, but because you've learned to stand firm. I've been there too. A day when everything went sideways, car trouble, a sick kid, a work emergency piling on. Once, I'd have crumbled. Now, I feel the wind, and I root myself deeper. The mess isn't my enemy, it's my mirror. It shows me how far I've come. And when you see that in yourself, it's a quiet victory no storm can take away. Here's the surprise. Chaos isn't your foe anymore. It's your stoic training ground. Think about that for a second. Every challenge, every moment of uncertainty, it's not something to dread. It's a chance to practice resilience, to test your peace. The Stoics saw life as a battlefield for the soul, and every clash makes you stronger. That flat tire on your way to work? It's not a curse, it's a drill, a chance to flex your calm. So next time the storm hits, smile. It's not here to break you, it's here to build you. This twist changes everything. Chaos stops being the villain in your story. It becomes the sparring partner that sharpens your edge. And that's a secret worth sharing. We've all wanted to yell at the mess at some point. That frustration when nothing goes as planned. The train's late, the Wi-Fi's down, the day's a circus. I've felt it. You have too. Yet somehow you're calmer now, aren't you? That shift didn't happen overnight. It's the result of small, steady choices. A moment where you caught yourself spiraling and chose to stop. A deep breath instead of a shout. That's Stoicism sinking in. It's not loud or flashy. It's quiet. It's real. And it's beautiful to see in you. You're not alone in this either. Thousands of us are walking this path together. Finding peace in the chaos. We stumble. We steady ourselves. We grow. And that shared journey, it's what makes this so powerful. So let's talk about it. How do you stay steady when the world feels like it's spinning? Share your Stoic hacks below. What works for you? Maybe it's a quick pause to focus on your breath, or a silent reminder of what you can control. I've heard some say they whisper Marcus's words to themselves in tough spots. Others jot down what's in their power and let the rest go. What's your trick? Let's learn from each other. Drop it in the comments. Your way of mastering chaos could be the spark someone else needs. This isn't just a video, it's a community, a place to swap tools and build strength together. Now, here's your step forward. Face one mess today, big or small, and declare, I choose my response. Say it out loud. Feel the weight of those words. That's peace at work. It could be a cluttered inbox staring you down, a tough conversation you've been dodging, a moment of doubt creeping in. Pick one. Don't just react, respond with intention. Maybe it's calmly sorting that inbox instead of groaning, or stepping into that talk with a clear head. Try it. Feel the shift. This isn't a chore, it's a practice, a move toward mastering chaos with Stoicism. One choice at a time, you're claiming your power. And that power, it's already yours. As you do, remember this. Peace isn't the absence of chaos. It's the presence of you, steady, rooted, unshaken. This is what mastering chaos with Stoicism looks like. And it's a journey worth taking. So, what's the next storm you'll face with this strength? Let's carry this forward into the next lesson, where we'll dig into turning challenges into wisdom. For now, keep practicing. Stay steady. Stay stoic. Your better days aren't just close, they're unfolding right in front of you. As we wrap up, these 7 signs, from finding peace in the storm to mastering chaos with Stoicism, show your transformation is already underway. Struggle teaches, doubt sharpens, small wins build. The Stoics knew this truth. Control what you can, embrace what you can't. That's where your strength lies. Let it sink in. Today, spot one of these signs in your life. Ask yourself, how can I grow through this challenge? Start small. The growth will follow. It's a quiet power waiting for you. If this resonated with you, hit like and subscribe for more Stoic lessons. Share this with a friend who needs it. And tell me in the comments, which sign do you see in your life? Let's grow together on Stoic teachings today. Next time, we'll dive deeper into applying Stoic wisdom to everyday challenges. Don't miss it. Join us and take one step closer to a stronger you.